Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the JG Show. I'm in the ring with Jake Bryant. Jake Bryant is going to be fighting in the WCFN event in 3 months' time. We're going to be talking about his training, obviously what you do in China, and much, much more. Let's do it. We're now talking about your fight, your upcoming fight.
Yeah.
We're doing a WCFN event. We want to make it big, and you want to fight in this big event. And
I was actually challenged.
you were challenged, yeah. So we got to start back at the beginning, where it all started, because you were challenged. You're also mates with the guy that's training your opponent. There's a story.
Yeah, we were
start
friends.
at the beginning. Start at the beginning.
Yeah, and you know, and I'm not a very tall person. I'm 173 centimeters, or 5'7", and American measurements. But so I have this long-standing thing where I'm getting picked on about my height all the time, which I don't care. I've already accepted it. Like back in high school.
Okay.
Everybody got taller than me much faster, and
This is going to be a good story.
yeah, and so I got to know this guy who's also from America, and we would go, hang out, have friends nights, and drink, party, whatever. And always this one joke come up. It's like, "What's up, midget?" He called me short all the time. And I'm like, "I'm knocking your butt," And
What?
Yeah.
Really?
But I was like, this guy Lasana, he's pretty skinny, and I was like, "Man, you don't want me to fight you. You don't want me to step in the ring with you because you're too skinny, and I don't want to hurt you, And so he's like, "That's all right, that's fine. I got somebody for you." I'm like, "Oh, really?" Yeah, and he's like, "I've been training him, and he needs a fight." I'm like, "Oh man, well, I haven't stepped in the ring in a long time. I come from a military background, and I did box when I was younger, but we're talking 20 years ago, right?" And he's like, he showed me a picture of the guy. Like, "Yeah, this seems like a nice guy." And then all of a sudden, he's like, "But I showed him a picture of you." I said, "What?" He said, "Yeah." He said, "I'll fight that chump." I was like, "Chump? What'd you call me chump for, man? I didn't even know me."
Way too far.
I'm like, yeah, that escalated really quickly, right? And I'm like, all right. So I was like, "Can I meet the guy?" He said, "No, I don't want you to meet him." I'm like, "Why?" "I don't want you to meet him." So I meet this guy after, several weeks of persuading him to do this.
Okay.
And this guy's like, this much taller than me.
He's a tower, huh?
He's 185 centimeters, I think, and then like 94, 95 kgs.
Okay.
And it's like 10, 15 more kgs than I am. Bro, right now, I've gained a lot of weight, and I'm about 85 kgs. But
85. Okay.
I'm
All right.
about almost 200 pounds, and he's over 200.
Is he a nice guy, or is he a?
Yeah, I didn't have any problem with him, but it's still in the back of my mind that he called me a chump.
Yeah.
And, sticks and stones break my bones, but words do kind of hurt sometimes. Not really, but for this instance.
It's on.
Yeah.
That would have done it for me too. I would have been like, "That's it."
Call you at the table, throw stuff out the ring.
That's it, man.
Go on a rampage.
You don't call me chump. Only my mother calls me chump.
You can call me short and fat, but chump?
Chump, that's it.
I've worked too hard to
Yeah.
be called chump.
Wow. Okay. So what's the strategy then going into this fight? He's heavier, taller, right?
He's got longer reach.
Longer reach.
Yeah.
You're fighting a mountain here. So what's your initial strategy? What's your initial game plan?
Well, I'm gonna do like the Chinese do, and I'm gonna take my ground. What's that ground thing called? And then just go to town. Start pounding. No, I'm just kidding.
Fight low. Get low.
I'm gonna get low and bring him back. Bring him down to my level, and make
Set
sure
the
I
pace.
can not get hit. Because a guy that size, I'm pretty sure he's got some weight power behind him.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, and you got to think you got to fight like Mike Tyson, right? So you got to do a lot of head bobbing. You got to get inside as fast as you can, and then just try to fight upwards, like fighting either with a high jab or an uppercut or a hook. But so you're fighting upward, getting inside and fighting up, and then getting out again, right?
Oh, a lot of time, yeah, you're gonna have to work like that. But I think a lot of it is going to have to do with my footwork and being able to position myself closer to him, because he does have the longer arms, and it's going to be harder for him to hit me if I'm up close. And if I'm staying to the side rather than in front of him, then it's going to be much harder for him to hit me, and I can go to town on his ribs or possibly if I can get a couple uppercuts.
Get
in
uppercut.
there.
Yeah.
Get over here.
Did your military background, would you say, is this going to come into play? I mean, is that going to support at all in this endeavor, this challenge? You know, military fighting is more like eye gouge, get away, right? Bang bang, eye gouge, run, right?
Yeah, most of the time.
It's not like let's go 12 rounds, let's go, right?
Yeah, I mean, it depends. I mean, it depends on the situation. But the military taught wrestling one. You know, you can't really wrestle in the WCFN or in boxing in general.
You can hold though. You can
you can hold, yeah.
Right.
But Krav Maga was pretty much what you said. You know, get in there and get out. Disable your opponent and get out. Yeah. So that's pretty much going to be my first strategy. Get in, get out, or get in, stay in, disable, and hopefully win the match as fast as possible.
It also teaches you grit.
Oh yeah. I've got a lot of that. Never give up.
I want some serious Jake grit during this upcoming fight. This, you know, don't back down kind of.
Never back down, right?
Yeah. Because you know, Jake Bryant, Jake Paul versus Ben Askren, right? Ben Askren, an Olympian, right? Yeah. Bellator champion, ONE FC champion. He had an insane record as an athlete, as an MMA fighter. I was hoping more grit from him. Yeah. I was hoping that he would dig deep and you know, have his hands up. Shots would be, you know, coming off his head, and he would just be, you know, holding. That's kind of what I was like. That's what he'll do, and he'll get close and he'll hold and he'll push down and he'll just, you know, get his face in and just, you know, try to get his body on him.
That's what we were expecting.
That's what we were expecting. Yeah. So. That didn't obviously go so well. No. The whole world knows that, yeah, we're all disappointed. I think the entire world is disappointed.
Now, would you go as far as to, you know, one, as maybe he kind of threw the fight, or two, as Jake Paul was overly, you know, more trained and ready for the fight?
Yeah, I remember I was thinking about this after it happened. Because Jake Paul threw this punch, right, and it kind of hit the top of his head, and he fell. And the way he fell, it was... I hate to say it, but I think Jake Paul actually was far better in that fight than anyone thought he would be.
I mean, he looked pretty ferocious in the fight. And another point we could say, you know, kind of debunked a lot of people saying that it was kind of thrown. I mean, you can look at the shape Askren is in. Was he always like that?
No,
probably not.
He's been inactive for a long time, right? He retired after the Masvidal knockout.
Yeah.
He had a hip surgery, and then he kind of was like, yeah, let's, you know, I'll take. It was. He kind of like got suckered into it, right?
Yeah.
Jake Paul was like, I'll take him. And he's like, yeah, man, this will be good. You know, I should lose some weight. Let's go. And it was like, no, God, this is much bigger than just you on a weight loss program.
Been training for what, the past 2-3 years?
Yeah, Jake Paul has like something to prove. You know, when you're that young, you're extremely ambitious, you're arrogant. You know, your testosterone is through the roof. You have no you'll just walk in front of a car and be like, watch this. You know, Jake Paul is like that. He's and not to say that, you know, given any other kind of MMA fighter, they could handle him. But Ben Askren was not in the right shape. As an athlete in his past, he was great.
Yeah.
But that didn't in no way supported him in that fight at all. You know, like Jake Paul, but we'll see how this goes, right? Because now there's a discussion about Tommy Fury.
Okay.
And Tommy Fury is 21. Jake Paul's 22. Tommy Fury with 5 fights. Jake Paul with now 3. Tommy Fury, I think he was fighting more credible boxers, and I think Jake Paul has a bit of weight on him.
Oh, sure.
So I think out of all the fighters in the world, out of all the potential matchups for Jake Paul, that is the best fight. He is a celebrity. Tommy Fury is famous for that reality show, Love Island.
Yeah.
So he's first a TV celebrity, then a boxer. So it suits, you know, Jake Paul.
Well, kind of like the same thing.
So if Jake Paul doesn't take Tommy Fury, it's on Jake Paul. Jake Paul's a pussy. Come on. Like that's your perfect fight. Like, don't go look for some retared MMA fighter. Like,
that was pretty low.
Stop it. That was really low. It was really low. And like, going back to your other question, did Ben Askren throw the fight? No, he was just old. Like, that dude's just old, retired. He was just like, I made some money, honey, let's go home. Like, that was it. That's he's done. He's not in there to you know, we all thought he'd grind the storm, like I was saying, but apparently not. Right? But going back give us some grit, you know? Grit. I think the army that teaches you grit, and that's what I'd like to see. This just, you know, standing there, shots are being thrown at you, right?
You know, for those of you that follow my channel, you see I'm a very lively person, and most of the time you can ask my bro over here and John when I first met him. I'm a really nice person, and I make sure that I kind of share my positivity with everybody. But when it comes down to being serious and really getting in there, you'll see a different person. I mean, you might see the JBull that you know that I'm building here.
JBull.
So I'm gonna be a bull.
Beware.
Yeah, you know, the bulls that got that close range and that freight train power.
Yeah.
That's what I'm gonna have to bring to the fight.
So this is exciting. We're after this. We're in the gym. We're gonna hit the pads, do some workout. We'll discuss a bit of strategy. We obviously don't want to release too much because, you know, word could get out to your opponent.
Yeah, we don't want to give them too much, you know, behind the scenes.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. So that's good for me. Stay tuned. Our man Jake Bryant, the Bull, Jake the Bull Bryant. We're going to be doing maybe a few more episodes leading up to your fight. We're going to be talking about your training, obviously more about what you do here in China. Yeah. And I'm excited. Yeah, and you should be too.
Yeah. Well, everybody, I appreciate you tuning in. I'm JBull. We got the JG Show.
El Presidente.
See you next time.
Cheers.